So now that I have taught you a little bit about how the brain develops and trauma's impact on the brain, I want to give you one more tool to use to help you explain to the kids you work with, to the families you work with, how trauma impacts their brain without using all of that fancy terminology that we went through. So one easy way to explain this to kids, probably even as little as kindergarten or first grade, and even adults, is to teach them about their brains and use 3 animals to describe those various parts that we talked about. So what I like to do is I like to tell kids that all of us have 3 animals that live inside our brains all the time. 2 of the animals we are very familiar with, and that's a tiger and an owl, and 1 animal they may not be as familiar with. Some of them may have been, and that is called a meerkat. So the way I begin is to say that there is a meerkat who kind of runs the ship in your brain. Now, you don't have to tell them this, but this is like your amygdala or your smoke detector. A meerkat is an animal that is sort of cat-like, that lives in a big pack, and in the pack of meerkats, there is always a watchguard. So there's always 1 meerkat who is on alert all the time to pay attention to what is going on around them. A meerkat is an animal that has very, very big eyes, and they kind of stand up on their hind legs. And if they see danger or they see some sort of predator, they let out a huge screech. So very much like a smoke detector, right? So a meerkat tells the other 2 animals in our brains what they can and cannot do. So think about the meerkat as being the watchguard or the smoke detector. A tiger. We all have tigers in our brains. What do tigers do best when they are happy and balanced? When their brain stems are not clicked on? What do tigers do best? Yep, they lounge around, they eat, right? And they play with other tigers. So what do kids do when their tigers are feeling balanced? They sleep well, they eat well, and they play. So when that meerkat or when that smoke detector tells the tiger, everything is cool, the coast is clear, that's what the tiger does. Okay? What does the owl do when the meerkat says that the coast is clear and everything is cool? What do owls do best? What are owls known for? They're known for being very wise. They might read books, they might learn, they may really pay attention to their teacher, they'll follow the directions of their parents, they remember all of the things that they should do. When the meerkat says that everything's okay, that's what the owl does best. The owl is kind of like our outer brain, and the tiger is kind of like that deep brain that we talked about. So if the meerkat says, uh-oh, something is not quite right, I hear something, I see something, I smell something, that essentially clicks on the brain stem to tell the tiger and the owl 2 different things to do. What does that meerkat tell the tiger to do when there's danger? What do tigers do when they're worried or fearing for their safety or their survival? The first thing that they will do is they will run, right? If they can't get away from what they're trying to get away from, the second thing that they will do is they will fight. And what do we do as humans or as kids when we are worried or fearing for our safety? It could be that we run out of the classroom. It could be that we hide under our desk. We go hide in our closet or under our bed. We try to get away. And if that doesn't work, what do? We fight. We might be oppositional. We might be argumentative to our teacher, to our parent, to other peers. We might flip a desk, right? We might act out in ways that are aggressive or assaultive. If the meerkat says that things aren't right and the tiger is doing that to try to get away or fight, what does that owl do? I wonder if any of you can guess what that owl does. What did our outer brain do? our outer brain left. So if the meerkat says that something's not quite right and there's danger, that owl flies away. So what is not left? That owl is not sitting and listening and learning. That owl's not recalling information. They're not following directions. They're not being a good friend to others. They're not using their words. So you can use the example of the meerkat and the tiger and the owl to teach to little kids or to teach to adults, and it gives them the language to describe what's happening in their body depending upon what that meerkat or that smoke detector tells them to do.